Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching us from. And I'm sorry if you're from Canada because we have a long weekend on Canada. I'm sorry. Richard just reminded me of that. But it's very nice to be here with you today. My name is Rafael Gonçalves. I'm a journalist. I'm the communications coordinator for Car Connects, and a lot of material you find on our website, on our social media, has been prepared by myself and my wonderful team. Today, I'm co-hosting this Core Talks with Richard Heft. Richard, it's a pleasure to have you here. Please tell us all about you.
Thank you for having me on, Rafael. Obviously, I'm thrilled to be here on a Friday afternoon before a long weekend up here in Canada. So I've mentally checked out. If I'm incapable of speaking articulately, you'll have to understand that I'm already hearing the drinks being poured at the cottage this weekend. But I'm Richard Heft. I'm president of EXT Marketing, EXT Digital. We're a company that has been around for 13 or so years. Co-founded by myself and my business partner, Jillian Bannister. We've been creating content and marketing pieces for institutional investors for decades, and thought that there was a good opportunity to move into the digital realm and access more of the retail audience that everybody is looking to access today, because we know that they are moving markets. They are where capital raisers need to be in front of to raise the type of capital, whether it's through a Reg CF, Reg D, Reg A offering, or even up to pre-IPO and IPO up listings and that type of thing. So we're here to help, and thrilled to be here with you, Rafael. It's an exciting day, and hopefully we have a good discussion about marketing.
Yes, that's very nice. I love talking about communications and marketing and about strategies.
And you were saying, I just want to point out, you were saying this. Sorry for cutting you off, but you were saying that this is your first interview in English. So I'm excited to be the guinea pig for this this kickoff.
Yeah. I live in Brazil. I am Brazilian, and I have worked in radio stations. I have worked for TV stations, but I have never actually hosted a show in English. So it's a nice experience. I just came to realize that it's my first co-hosting interview in English, but let's have fun. I always tell that to people. I also teach. I'm also a professor. You have butterflies in your stomach. Butterflies never disappear. We just have to learn how to have fun with them, right? We always get nervous when we're doing something different, but let's just have fun with our butterflies, right?
Perfect. I love that attitude.
Yeah, we gotta do it, man. We just gotta have fun. So first of all, I would like to start talking about the challenges that we have of creating content in this society, because I mean we are overwhelmed with data, with information, with tweets and TikToks and Instagram and blog posts. So how do you think that companies can cope with their business management and still create content to be relevant in the online environment?
Look, it's pretty straightforward in my mind, at least, that the most important components of good content in this day and age are that the content needs to be educational, needs to be informative, engaging, entertaining. We're so used to seeing big copy blocks of white papers, and they, those types of content still have a place in this world, but we know that some people like reading and taking those types of deep dives, and some people prefer watching a 30-second video and just getting the quick stats that they need to know, or the quick facts that they need to know. Some people love infographics with big charts and tables and ways to illustrate, important copy components. So that's really, there's a lot of different places where you could see the content. And it comes in, audiences enjoy different ways to take in that content. And the best way is just to create great copy that's engaging and entertaining and educational. And when you can't do it internally, there are partners to help with your content. like a place like Extension Digital, for example. This is we are designed to help companies create more content, better content, more engaging content, and the types of content that people are looking at these days.
Yes, one thing that one challenge that everybody faces is we have to be. People don't read anymore. People don't have time. People are in a rush. So you have to be short. You have to be informative. You have to be educational. You
Yeah.
have to be smart. You have to be engaging. Aren't we setting too much expectation on our content?
I don't think so. I don't think you can set unrealistic expectations when it comes to content. We know that people are going online. They're going to their favorite social media channels, whether it be Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Reddit. They're finding good information, some bad information, some good information, and they're really engaged on these platforms. And the content, if it's good, is going to keep them engaged for a long period of time, and it's going to compel them to act. And there's, there, if you can convey the right information to the right audience at the right time, you can that audience will act on the things you're telling them to do, or tell conveying, and the information could be really powerful.
Yes, I was checking. At least here in Brazil, TikTok is growing a lot. The
Yeah.
other day, I was reading an article about a dentist who started creating content for TikTok.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, how a dentist? But I wouldn't need content from a dentist if I didn't have any problem in my mouth. But I don't. But I still found that interesting. I said, wow, a dentist on TikTok. And I checked her videos and said, wow, that's actually very nice. So there's room for everyone, I guess, right?
100%. And a dentist, the best thing a dentist, for example, and this is just an example based on what you're talking about, the best thing a dentist could do is not say, here is my dental practice, come to me as a dentist to have your teeth whitened, straightened, cavities filled, all of those types of things. It's more about the dentist positioning themselves as a subject matter expert.
Mm-hmm.
Once that dentist does that and makes people believe that they really can answer all these questions, there's an implicit level of trust in that dentist. People will want to talk to that dentist, will want to ask questions of that dentist, and will trust that dentist with their teeth and other matters related to their teeth and gums, for example. Again, just using that example.
Sure.
It's frankly a very smart idea for any dentist to think, I want my clients and patients to know that I'm a leader in this space. There's nothing they can throw at me that I can't answer. And good content that educates their clients is going to do that. And like I said, informs, entertains, however the dentist wants to get that information across, they will. And again, just using this dental example you came up with, to me, that's the best strategy at dentists, because I don't think every person who reads it, they may be located a million miles away and not interested in working with that dentist. But the dentist, if they, used TikTok and maybe do a little geo-targeting, can really raise their profile in their community and probably build a pretty healthy practice.
Yes, and that's something interesting you said about the geo-targeting. You don't have to have like 3 million followers if none of them are in your area, right? Maybe it's better to have 3,000 followers, but in your neighborhood.
Right. And, even the people who aren't in the neighborhood, if they create a big community, it also looks good for the dentist, right? They go,
yeah. Of course, yes.
Not every other, not all of my followers are in Chicago where my practice is, but the people in Chicago know that I have I'm a global leader, and that looks good on the dentist.
Yes,
so it's not, not all of their followers have to be there, but they could definitely benefit from having 3 million followers. That's a lot of power.
brand awareness is always good.
Right.
It's always important. So, but when it comes to converting, of course, if your business needs a local client like a dentist does, sometimes numbers can trick us, right?
Definitely.
But in this scenery that we are, in this setting that we have right now with TikToks and everything, do you believe that blog posts are still relevant? Those technical texts, they're normally are a little bit longer. Do you believe that they're still relevant for a company to attract and to build this authority?
It's a good question. I definitely think blogs are still relevant, still powerful. They are a good way to show clients and prospects and potential investors that how knowledgeable you are on any given number of topics that you want to speak to. So no, I definitely think blogs and blog posts are still worthwhile to have. The key is to be consistent, to make sure people know that you are posting and where you're posting and when you're posting these types of blog articles, because it's a lot of work to do to create article after article, research and write and get approved by your compliance or legal and get it out the door, or get team members doing it, or paying somebody like us to do your blog. It's a lot of work. You want people to start following. You can't expect people to start acting and investing in you or with you right away. But it is a good way to show your subject matter expertise. It is a good way to gain awareness of your areas of specialty, as long as people are following it. So you may want to post notifications in your newsletter, on social media sites. You could repackage it in 280 characters on Twitter, so that with a link to your blog, so that people know, oh, Richard's published a blog article on X. I follow Richard on Twitter. I'll click through to see what that article says. You can create a series of articles so that people return back. There's all sorts of strategies to increase awareness about your blog and to increase readership of your blog. You can mix it up with other types like the listicles, the infographics. You can post videos on your blog. So it doesn't necessarily have to be those copy blocks that you sort of spoke of, Rafael. But to me, it is good. It drives traffic back to your website, which is good for metrics, which is good for analytics. So yeah, I still think there's a benefit, to blogs. I just think it's just posting it for the sake of posting it won't get you the sort of results that you may be looking for. You're going to be looking for immediate impact, sales, investments, that type of thing. It may take a little longer. You may have to keep publishing and commit to that a long-term publication every week or every 2 weeks, maybe every month. Although going monthly is hard to get a real following. So I'm a fan of blogs. I just think that you have to have realistic expectations, and you have to have a commitment to it, to spending the time or money to keep the blog up to date. Blogs are great for SEO. If you keep it up to date and you build a readership, the search engines will find you, and you'll come up higher on Google rankings and that type of thing, which is great. So for business development, so yeah. All that to say, yes, I still think there's a place in this world for blogs.
Yeah, and I always say that when you said it's a long-term strategy. I totally agree with that. I always say this: if you want to celebrate 100 podcast episodes, you need to do 99 before. If you want to celebrate 1,000 articles, you need to write 999 before. You won't write 1,000 in your second day, right? So it's really about building and about committing and about the long term. It's not something simple, but I totally agree. It's got to be done.
And I hate to say it, that it may take 50 or 75 of those articles before you have somebody go, oh, I just recommended you to a friend. I just talked about your business to a friend because I've been following you for so long. It can take that long, and so you really do have to be ready to commit.
Yes, perfect. Yes, you don't celebrate the 100th episode without the 99 before. So be ready to commit. So we're talking a lot about marketing and about attention, because right now we're living in the attention economy, right? Because people in front of a computer or in front of a mobile phone. We want attention. We are always chatting with someone or on Twitter or playing a game or on TikTok or whatever it is. But what is the difference that you can see between the financial services marketing and a regular marketing?
Yeah, we've been doing both. I mean, we are.
If any, please.
Sorry?
If any, if you don't see any difference, just
I think there's a different. We do mostly financial services marketing. We have been doing that. That's been our bread and butter for almost a decade and a half. And most of the services are the same: copy, design, distribution, the digital component, and different engagement strategies. When you focus on the financial services industry and companies that are looking to raise capital, your writers tend to become adept at speaking to those audiences and the distribution channels about those types of products and services. That is, as well as a macroeconomic environment that might impact different companies and industries and sectors and that type of thing. Mm-hmm. So that would be the topic, and the distribution channels would be the main differences. You market consumer packaged goods. You're probably going to do a lot of work on brand of the different products. You're probably going to do a lot of work on the distribution. You may do sort of the guerrilla marketing type of thing, way more events, and those efforts that banks and insurance companies and asset managers and dealerships and RIAs and capital raisers are probably not going to want to spend as much of their marketing budget on. So those would be the main sort of areas of difference. We would focus on product and what you're doing and build campaigns around those products, but aimed at if it's an investment product, who's going to be selling it? You may not be going straight to the retail audience. You may be going institutional. You may be going to advisors and financial advisors and investment advisors. And when you're doing Reg A, you may be going to mass affluent, you may be going to high net worth, ultra high net worth, accredited investors. You got to target those audience. You're not going to people who are walking in a store and buying your brand of pop.
Mm-hmm. No, I see. And you said about product brand. Which do you think or do you think they're both equally relevant? Brand awareness or product campaigns? That's the $1 million question again.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think you can have a product campaign without that brand, without the brand exercise. It's more than just a logo. We talk a lot about key messaging and how you're going to convey the brand attributes, the strengths, the key differentiators, those types of things against a competitive environment. All that type of work is super important, a super important component of the brand building exercise. You really need to know who you are and what you are against the broader landscape. Once you do that, you can start building the verticals of the product and how that product builds up to I call the enterprise level, or the mothership, where product is one thing. It may not be your only product. The brand is building the enterprise wide. What is the experience? What is the consumer experience? What's the investor experience? All these types of things that should funnel down to the product, and the product will have its own individual attributes. So I believe in product marketing, but I think you can't put the cart before the horse. You have to build an enterprise wide brand, what you stand for, what your philosophy is, what your mission is, all these types of things. And then it goes down to the product, and the product feeds into that.
Yes. I'm a big fan of brand awareness campaigns, because I think that the brand has to tell a story, right? The brand, you start the story with the brand, not the product. The product it's even the end of the story or part of the story, but the brand has its own story, right? It should have. Sorry. And how do you believe that these campaigns can still impact the public? Because it's very challenging to be creative nowadays, right? It's very
Yeah.
challenging because I just told the story about the dentist, and that girl was extremely creative to target her public. Uh, how can brands be creative to still get their message across?
Look, it's always a challenge to reach the right audience with your content, which is why it's so important. And we do so much work to take the correct steps when building a digital strategy, investor personas, as well to create content that is, say, right for the audience and for the platform. So, an example would be Instagram, which is meant to engage through photos and short videos, TikTok, mostly videos. Twitter is mostly copy and image based with links back to longer form content, whatever that might be, and wherever that might be. I think it's always important to start by creating content that fits for each platform. So I was talking about your blog and how you can get the word out through TikTok or Twitter or any other platform or LinkedIn. And you have to create content that fits each of these platforms, and knowing where your desired audience is active. So we do a lot of work on LinkedIn, and we'll build these theses around LinkedIn is the right place to go for an advisor who's trying to access our audience. And sometimes you start doing some A/B testing, and you realize, wow, LinkedIn is not where their desired audience is, even though our metrics said it was. We have to pivot the campaign and go to Facebook because that's where their audience is more active and more engaged to the point where they might pick up the phone, email, ping, the person who's trying to reach them. So to me, that it's building great content. It's building content that's right for the platform, timing it correct. So there's all sorts of strategies to engage an audience. It's not impossible, but it has to be done right. It has to be done on the right channels at the right time for the right audience, all of those types of things.
Yeah, depending on who's watching us, people just said, "Wow, pick up the phone. What is that?"
I know. It sounded. I kind of feel like I showed my age by saying picked up the phone because you don't really do that anymore. But again, I'm looking at myself on screen, and I'm already in holiday mode, so you could see but it's so white. It's white as the driven snow right now, my beard. So I'm like, yes, I am 112 years old.
No, but come on, picking up the phone is still important. My mom still calls.
Thank you. Yeah. Me and your mom still make phone calls. Hello. Yeah.
I don't believe this Generation X, Y, Z. I just think it's just a matter of evolution, and it happens. And a lot of brands see no value in being on TikTok, but those 15, 16 years old, 12, 14, I don't know, those youngsters, those teenagers that are on TikTok today, in 5 to 10 years, they will be the consumers. So they will be spending their money somewhere. So you got to start building this audience. It's on TikTok, it's on Twitter. I love Twitter, by the way. Twitter is extremely powerful, right? In my digital culture classes, I always give an example on Twitter, which is my own example, because I love football, and I don't mean soccer. I mean American football, NFL. And I don't remember exactly which Super Bowl I was tweeting about in English with some friends. And suddenly Kurt Warner started following me. One of the greatest quarterbacks of all time started following me. I said, wow.
Arizona Cardinals?
Kurt Warner is following me. And Twitter is very powerful. If I can get Kurt Warner to follow me, one of the top 10 quarterbacks of all time, you can talk to your audience, right? You can reach.
Would you say he's one of the top 10 quarterbacks of all time?
I wouldn't, but if he follows me, come on, I have to.
I like him. I don't. Maybe. Okay. I'll give you that. I'm not going to argue.
But he's Kurt Warner. Come on.
Right. That is pretty. It's a pretty cool anecdote for sure.
Yeah. So I always give this example. If I can get Kurt Warner to follow me, you can reach your audience. They are there. They are somewhere, right? They are somewhere. So it's possible. I love Twitter. Twitter is very powerful. So there's something you said that's very important about the personas, because we have to target the right person. We have to know who's buying from us, who we want to target. And this is something that I think it's the most challenging part, because right now we have a multifaceted world. Like I am a professor, I am a journalist. I also have a degree as a chef, as a pastry chef. Yes, that's true. I've worked for the radio. I help rescuing dogs. I mean, I have a lot of I have a lot of things I do. I have a lot of interests.
You're making
Uh,
me feel a little bit inadequate right now, Rafael, because I
yeah,
don't
come
do any
on.
of those things.
No, come on.
I watch a lot of Netflix, mind you.
Sorry, you watch what?
I watch a lot of Netflix. Is that something?
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Me too. Actually, I reduced my dog rescue because of Netflix, but okay. But what I mean is, people right now they have so many different interests. How do we outline these personas? How do we know this is the guy that's gonna buy from us? How do we do that? Because we have a
Well,
lot of data that can be very good or very bad.
people definitely have a lot more choice. So finding them has certainly become more complex over the years. It's important to do the upfront. We do a ton of strategy work, and that's creating investor personas, determining where those investors tend to congregate, who they tend to follow, what type of information they tend to share. It's all available if you know how to do it. I personally do not know how to do it, but we have people at EXT Digital or Extension Digital who do know how to do it. Our campaign managers and such, and that type of upfront strategy work helps you determine exactly who you are trying to get in front of, um, and what they are doing. Again, it could be as simple as looking at their geographic location, their age, their sex, their job title, their marital status, their household income and interests. All these types of things that you could type in to find your ideal investor or audience will help you find the right individuals. So it's doing that upfront work, and then again creating content. And I always go back to the content. If you do that, if you build the right persona, so you're saying, okay, this person has X number of income, they're located in this geographic area, their job title is this. Then you have to figure out, okay, where are they going? What type of content are they engaging in? Because they may be more, if they're a younger demographic, they may prefer video. Older demographic may prefer doing a bit of a deep dive. Again, those are mass generalizations because we found that it could be either or. So you do have to really determine what these people are doing on almost an individual basis, but build personas that can reflect a wider swath of the population. But again, you may not, to save money, you may want to avoid sort of blanketing the universe and drill down on this person in Chicago, in the east side of Chicago, in this neighborhood, with this name, job title, whatever it is. This is my ideal audience, and then you target that person with stuff that you think is going to work for them, that they'll be interested in, that they'll engage in, and they'll act on. So, again, it's a complex world, but you have to really do the work to drill down on where you want to target people, how you want to target people, and the good thing about it is, in the old days, we would do advertorials, put them in a newspaper, and pray that that paid off. You get metrics in real time today, so you know exactly what's working and what isn't, and more importantly, what isn't. And then you pivot to what's working and allocate more dollars to what's working. It's the online realm and the social realm is extremely powerful for all of us. We just have to use it properly.
I believe that the thing, because the commercial internet has, it's like 3 decades old, let's put it that way. But the way we have been using our behavior is changing too quickly, right? Because especially after COVID, because we are shopping online more often, we are shopping for different things online, not only electronics, and now we're shopping for clothes, and our behavior is changing constantly, and we do have to,
Yeah.
as marketers and as communication officers, we do have to keep track of those behavior changes, right? Because they're extremely important, and that's what makes things complex. We never know what the next move is gonna be. Wow, where on earth are we going now? We never know. That's
Well,
fun.
it also is complicated by the fact that macroeconomic trends, like for people who are trying to raise capital, you have to watch what the macroeconomic trends are too. Sectors, industries, companies, leadership, all these things are fluid as well. So investors go where the market is sort of focused on as well, positive and negative. So you want to be on the positive side of the ledger as much as possible by running a good company, having a good idea, getting your message across, and having people understand exactly what you're doing, how you're going to do it, and how you're a good investment. You're where they want to park their investment dollars.
Yeah, and startups do it very well because they
Yeah.
anticipate solutions, right? That's the good thing. We as marketers, we don't know what's going to happen next, but entrepreneurs and startups, they do know. They try to, and they anticipate the solutions, right? So,
They are more they tend to be more entrepreneurial, and they can pivot as well, their focus. So their business, their messaging isn't as set in stone as sort of the larger incumbents who have been around for decades, whose product and brand are sort of already elevated. It's harder to move off a story or create something that may be off brand, whereas startups, nano cap, micro cap, small cap companies can be a little more tactical, which gives them a bit of an advantage, frankly, against the larger market.
yes, yes, it's true. It's true. But let me ask you, this is a fun question. If you had to suggest, let's say, 3 marketing assets for companies making a pitch while raising capital, let's talk a little bit about our Car Connects public, because our companies, our clients, our core clients are raising capital. Which marketing assets would you suggest and why? Let's say video, blogs, which ones would you suggest?
Yeah, I'd start with their investor deck. And if they have an investor deck, start with making their investor deck even better. It's so key and important for people to know what the opportunity set is, what the addressable market is, what the product is, what the management team looks like. All of these types of things, answering all those whys are so key. And with good illustrations, not too copy heavy. The right investor deck is crucial for most companies at this stage. A website landing page where you house information about the investment opportunity. If you're creating banner ads or content pieces, the banner ad should link back not to your corporate website generally. It should link back to a campaign page or a landing page that tells people, again, not product specific stuff, but investment specific stuff. So that's a key component of any campaign. And then obviously the corporate website. So that's, but the landing page is really key for this component of your capital raise. I like a white paper to show your thought leadership, to position you and your firm as subject matter experts. So I'm a fan of a white paper. And if I was allowed a fourth, I would go build a video from that white paper.
Yes, you are allowed the 4th, the 5th. You are allowed.
Yeah, I would go with
the co-host. You're the boss here, man.
Well, you said 3. I follow the rules. I'm not a rule breaker. I'm a rule follower. But I would throw in the video as well, just because it can really catch people's attention, and maybe have the CEO speaking about the investment opportunity, what the company's future looks like, why this is a great investment. So I like a video or white paper, preferably both.
Yeah, white papers are important. It's a marketing asset we don't see very often, right?
No,
we don't listen to a lot of people talking about white papers, and they are important, right? They're important.
I love them. I mean, I started my career writing them, so I definitely love them. I do know that a lot of people go, why would I do a long form piece like that when I know most people are not going to read through it? I just think it becomes a great starting point for any thought leadership endeavor. So you write your white paper, you get all that third-party information, do a little research on your own, create a very compelling opportunity set in this white paper, position yourself as a good subject matter expert and thought leader, but then distill the key components of the white paper down to micro content, snackable content. It's called any number of things, nano content, listicles, factoids, stats, all of those types of things, video. But the white paper can serve as the launch pad to all of those things. So done correctly, it's a great starting point. And for people who really, and a lot of people who are investing are going to say, I want to know more. I want to know why I'm putting whatever number of dollars towards this company. I need to know more, what they're thinking, what they're doing, why. And a white paper can help you convey that information.
Exactly, because there is always risk involved, right? So if you have a white paper, say, look, this is what we think about it. This is how we think about doing it. That's why we do it. You said answer all the whys, right? That's basically it.
Correct.
That's basically it. That's important. And the snackable content is important because we drink a lot of coffee in communication, right? So snackable content is it's a perfect pair with our coffee because we spend the whole day with our coffee cups and coffee mugs and everything, right?
Perfect.
Richard, I believe we've covered the ground that we wanted to. We wanted to talk about a little bit of financial services marketing. If there's anything else that we forgot, you please, I think we can go to our final considerations. If you have anything else to add, please.
I got nothing. All I can say is, going back to one of your earlier questions, CEOs, senior management teams, everybody's focused on product, on capital raising, on all of these important aspects of getting your company off the ground. You need great partners. Great partners include companies like CoreConnect. Great partners include companies like EXT Digital. So for anybody looking to raise capital who doesn't have time to create videos, to create white papers, to create landing pages and banner ads and strategies to get this information across, bring in a good marketing partner, right? Whether it's EXT Digital or somebody else, hopefully it's EXT Digital or somebody else, we're here to help. That's what our company was designed to do, and we're real good at it. So get in touch.
That's very nice. That's very nice. Thank you, Richard. Thanks for your time. And again, I apologize for doing that on your long weekend. I mean, I'm sorry, but still, it was very fun. It's fun talking about content and about marketing and about strategies, and I do love it. So I could go on for ages, and people are already buzzing me here. Hey, time management. So, okay, let's wrap it up. So, Richard, once again, thank you. Thank you for everyone who's watching. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast player, Spotify, iTunes, or Amazon Music, don't forget to follow our channel. Look for us on LinkedIn, on Facebook. We are also on Twitter, Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye bye, everybody.